George Russell ahead, but for how much longer? Lewis Hamilton trying to go the long way round. The two silver arrows aren't separated by much. This time George Russell has gone the most offensive.
This battle just rages on and on.
Hamilton will be getting a tow from George Russell. How close can he get into the braking zone? He's got DRS as well, of course, running within a second, but not close enough to even shape for a pass.
No, he just snuck within the 1 second though. 0.9 something as he came past the detection point, so that'll help him get closer again. And these two had quite a fun fight earlier on in the race. Hamilton leaving the team, he's headed to Ferrari. He'll be quite enjoying what he's seeing from that team right now at the moment, whetting his appetite for 2025, but he would love to see out his time with Mercedes on a high as well. They're not going to get a podium on merit, but if anything happens to the top three here, one of these two will pick up the pieces and get back onto the podium, have a bit of silverware. And Hamilton wants to make sure if there's something to be picked up, it's him doing it.
There is the driver, Kimi Antonelli, 18 years of age, who will be replacing Lewis Hamilton with the Mercedes team. He was taking part in practice earlier on this weekend. He's done that a couple of times this year as Hamilton continues to run 0.7 of a second away from Russell. Hamilton, who's finished second in the last 3 Grand Prix run around this circuit. As it stands, currently, it would be 16 points for Lando Norris in the World Championship. Max Verstappen scoring just 8, and Norris would get that gap down to 49 points in the World Championship with 4 Grand Prix remaining of the season. Brazil next time out with a sprint race as well, and then the triple header to conclude this championship season with Las Vegas, Qatar, and the now traditional Abu Dhabi season finale. And Hamilton roars around the 17th and final corner of the racetrack, trying to maximise the speed on exit, and you carry that all the way on this mammoth run. Some of the highest speeds of the year. Look at what we've got at the bottom of the screen, building up. Look at Hamilton's speed, building up to 215 before he applies the brakes, and still he's not been able to even get a waft of a look of a chance on the inside line, and Russell isn't feeling the need to offer any defensive driving. Right now, down to turn 1, are we going to resolve the first look from Lewis Hamilton to try and force defensive driving from his teammate ahead?
It worked a little bit, didn't it? Hamilton too far back to mount a real opportunity, but just moving in the mirrors of Russell. As soon as he did, you saw a jink towards the inside for George. It's not left him offline on the run up to turn 4, but Hamilton's still right with his teammate, and you can see the way that Russell is just checking those mirrors, and it was a bit reactive, but it was barely a movement at all that he had in towards turn 1. Hamilton's quite close here.
Russell on the inside. How much has he compromised his racing line? The two drivers not separated by much in the championship standings, 6th and 7th, separated by 10 points going into this one. Hamilton will want to find his way by, but he's not prepared to take huge risks to do so. He knows he's still got plenty of laps to play with. George Russell ahead, but for how much longer? Lewis Hamilton trying to go the long way round. How much grip has he got? The two silver arrows aren't separated by much, and George Russell is still the lead car, but this one's brewing and brewing and brewing in the battle for 4th.
And this is racing I like to see. Fair racing where drivers are given room on the inside, outside, and it helps that they're teammates, but this is what we want to see. Battles that go on more than just a mad dash for an apex, and then whatever happens on the exit is just a bundle to the outside.
This time George Russell has gone the most offensive all race long against Lewis Hamilton. He's on a compromised line. He's trying to slow it down on the apex because he knows Hamilton's on the charge. How early can he get on the power? It seems nicely judged from George Russell at this stage, but Hamilton has the balance, has the grip. Does he have the pace? Not at this stage. He knows that gap would close if he tried to send it around the outside.
It's a brilliant fight. He's close into 6th, but he'd have to send a lunge and have a very, very willing person on the other end of that one. We saw it with Liam Lawson earlier on, but Lawson hadn't pitted and wasn't in a direct fight. This battle just rages on, and Russell's defence is good. He's reacting quite late to Hamilton getting close, but then he's decisively taking the inside, offering up the outside to his teammate, and then being good on the brakes, stopping the car, but crucially, he's getting out of these corners quite well as well. Hamilton was fighting the car a lot, coming through turn 2 and then turn 3, launching the curbs, and he needs to have a smoother exit to put a big fight on George Russell at turn 4. But he's so close on this lap. This is the best chance that he's had so far.
Well, George Russell has hung on lap after lap after lap to 4th position, but is that grip about to loosen? The 7-time world champion and 2-time winner here gets a face full of sparks, goes around the outside and improves to 4th place. The defence ends at turn number 1, and Hamilton's 10 laps of hard work are rewarded. He's now the lead Mercedes in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was a surrender in the end from Russell, who was given it his absolute best shot at holding Hamilton behind